Hi, welcome back to the Boxes of Lights game channel. We're playing Mage Knight, the Lost Legion. It's time for us now to head into the second night. Two blues, a red and a black. Need to create our new offers. We got a couple of monasteries, remember, so we're going to have a couple of new advanced actions. Got some foresters here that are indecisive. Let's get rid of this one, bang this one. Everything else rolls down. Two here, one here. A new spell. Space bending I wasn't that interested in. Fireball I'm quite keen on getting this time. Whirlwind Tornado, that's pretty good. Blood Ritual's pretty good for getting mana tokens. Is it too late for that? Not sure. Whirlwind, that's a must-have, I think. Let's reset our player area. This planning is discarded now. Reshuffle and draw. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have March, Tranquility, March, Crystallized Concentration. Okay. And let's draw our tactics for this night. I kind of want to maximise this night. I think that potentially on the next day or the following night we're going to be fighting that army. Sparing power is good for building up a massive hand, and I think I'll save that for the last night. So I'm going to take this one, and then we'll pick one randomly for General Voltaire, and we'll get sparing power. Okay, so I'm going to go first. Given that I want to level up, I need to find someone to fight. Unfortunately, there's not much here. I've got the choice of perhaps fighting one of these lilac enemies if I burn down this monastery. And that's an option, but it's really going to hit my reputation. And then, I mean, the idea of levelling up here is that I get to recruit one more unit. So burning that monastery down is just going to make that even harder. In fact, it's worse than that, because if I take a 3 reputation hit, I'm going to hit this X spot, and that means I can't interact with locals at all. So I think what I need to do, I don't really want to be burning crystals at this time. What I'm going to do is play crystallized, grab one of these blue dice from the source, and play this stronger effect. Gain a crystal of any colour, add it to my inventory. So it will be a green. And then I can play March for move 2 and March with a green crystal for move 4. So that's a total of move 6. And that's the nasty thing about these walls here. I had to burn crystals. See, normally it would only cost me 2, 4 to move to this maze here, but because of the walls they cost 1 extra movement point, so it's going to be 1 to cross here, 2 into there, that's 3, and then another 3 into here, that's 6 movement into this maze. So we're in this maze, and like dungeons and monster dens, you don't have to do anything, you can just sit here, you don't have to enter the maze, but you can do as your action. But because I'm down to just 2 cards, I've not got enough to take this thing on. I'm going to stop here, and we'll think about doing that next turn. So let's play this lot away, I think we're done. Reroll the mana. That's a white, back in the source, and we'll draw back up to 5 cards. Tirelessness, Force of Nature, and Spellforge. Volcaire's turn, let's see what we get. It's a wind. Let's roll this guy. Remember, anything but a black. It's a blue, we're fine. Now we're back to my turn, and we're in this maze, and this is a great opportunity for us. Let me show you this card. This is the maze. Now it's got these numbers 2, 4 and 6 printed on it. We have to spend some movement points now to enter the maze. When we enter the maze, we're going to fight one of these tan monsters. But the reward we get if we win and conquer this maze is dependent on how deep into the maze we went thematically. So whether we spent 2 move, 4 move or 6 move. So if we go only 2 move, then we'll get a reward of 2 crystals. If we go deeper into the maze with 4 movement, then we'll get a spell. Into the darkest depths of the maze, then we win an artifact. Alright, so it depends if we spend 2, 4 or 6. Now I've got my eye on a spell here, so I'm going to try and spend 4 movement to enter this maze. And I'm going to do this by spending... That's a shame I don't have much. Okay, I've got Tirelessness, and I can get move 4. So I'll play Tirelessness. I'm going to grab this blue mana from the source, and that's going to give me move 4. The next thing I need to do is decide which of my units to take into the maze with me, because you can only take 1. And I'm going to choose to take my Utum crossbowmen, and I'm interested in their ranged attack. I'm just going to turn these over for now, just to remind me. So we're all ready to go. Now we can enter this maze. So the first thing we do is draw a random tan monster. This is this one, just like in a dungeon. Let's grab it, see what we get. Ooh, that's a new one. He's pretty mean. This is a Hydra. This guy is resistant to ice attacks, so any ice attacks are inefficient. But physical attacks just fine. But he does have multiple attacks, and multiple attacks need to be handled separately. So this is not like, you couldn't generate 6 block and block all 3. You've got to block this one, block this one, block this one. So if you did have 6 block from one card, then you'd only block one of these attacks and the other 2 would get through. So multiple attacks from this Hydra's multiple heads. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that, because he's in a maze, he's not fortified, and that's kind of what I was hoping for. What I want to do now is join the ranged. I'm going to burn a crystal, but that's okay. I'm going to play concentration. Grab this crystal from my inventory, and this is going to give me play another action card, get the stronger effect, and with any type of attack +2. And of course I'm going to play Force of Nature, and this gives me siege attack 3 plus the 2 from concentration, siege attack 5. Still not quite enough to kill the Hydra with his armour of 6. But I'm now going to use my Utum crossbowmen and use their ranged attack 2. So that's ranged attack 7. And we've defeated this Hydra. Great job. And that's perfect, because I've gone up to 28 fame. I've levelled up. And that's perfect. That'll do it, I think. Discard these. Get rid of... Right, that guy's spent. Get rid of this. Reroll this one. It's a white. Not terribly helpful. I was hoping for a blue. And now remember, I use 4 movement points to get into that maze, so I get a spell as my reward. And Fireball and Whirlwind. They're both good, but I'm definitely going to take Whirlwind. But what I need to do is collect some white mana. Now remember, I've got a daily skill that gives me white mana, so I'm quite happy with Whirlwind. That's awesome. Put this one here. And now we refresh the spell offer with Expose, Mass Expose. Before we level up, we need to mark the maze as conquered as well. So we're going to put this shield here on the number 4 to mark the fact that we've conquered that path. Now when you're playing solitaire, it doesn't actually matter, because no player can enter the same maze twice. But if you were playing multiplayer, another player could come and conquer this maze, but he would have to take path 6 and 2. He couldn't also take path 4. Alright, so that's why you kind of place your shield where you do. Once they play solitaire, it doesn't really matter, because you're only allowed to go in there once anyway. Now we'll do our level up, so we can recruit more units, and our hand limit goes up to 6 cards. Let's draw those now. So I've got 2. So we get Whirlwind, Promise, Mana Draw, and Call to Arms, Call to Glory. Volcair's turn. And we've got a green action. Well, there aren't any green mana in the source, so all we're going to do is move, and we're heading this way. Back to me again, and now I'm going to pick up this unit I'm after. We have a refugee camp just to the north of us here. And this is where I was headed, because in a refugee camp you can interact with locals here and recruit all sorts of types of units. Even if they're units that are normally recruited at villages, mage towers, keeps, monasteries, cities, you can recruit these guys at a refugee camp. The only difference is, if we look at this card, it shows you, depending on the type of unit and where they're normally recruited, it's going to cost you a little bit more in reputation to recruit them at a refugee camp. But it's a great place to go and pick up units without having to wander all over the map. So that's where I'm thinking about heading next. Or at least it would have been if I hadn't have just drawn Call to Arms, Call to Glory. So in fact what I'm going to do is use my daily skill. Grab a white crystal. Play Call to Arms, Call to Glory. It's night time, so I'm going to grab this black mana die from the source, fuel this spell with 1 white crystal from my inventory, and it says recruit 1 unit for free from the unit's offer. And the one I'm going to take, well, Uton Swordsman is quite good, but Illusionists are a little bit better. I'm going to take the Illusionists. And that'll do it. The reason why I like the look of these Illusionists is because of this white mana driven ability here. Target unfortified enemy does not attack this combat. And when I go into combat with Volcair, his armies are going to be unfortified. Right, that'll do it for this turn. Pretty short and sweet. Let's re-roll this one. And it's a white. Man, how much white mana do we need? That's not very helpful. Draw back up to 6, just 1 card this time. Swift Reflexes. Alright, that needs white. Maybe that wasn't so bad after all. Okay. General Volcair now is a wound. So anything but a black. It's a gold, that's fine. So what to do now? Volcair's still a little way away. I've got a few turns, potentially. I think I'm going to make it through this night and into the next day, and then it might start to get a bit dodgy with Volcair. I think the only thing for me to do is start seeking out some more fame, so I'm going to head down this way, I think, and it's all grassland, so I should be able to get there pretty quickly. Let's just use Swift Reflexes for move 4. Maybe I'll get something better out of here at the end of this turn. Is it here? Let's move 4. The trouble with these short turns is that Volcair's... I'm just letting Volcair get through his deck again. So maybe there is something more I can do here. Let's maybe I could play 2 sideways for another move 2. Why don't I play Tranquility? I'm going to use its basic effect, draw a card. Let's see what we get here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Swiftness, move 2. It's not perfect. So yeah, okay, so we'll play Tranquility. Then we'll play this and this. So that's move 6. And that'll take me down 2, 4, 6. It's not wonderful. But next turn. Alright, let's clear this up. Nothing else for me to do. I don't want to move anymore. I do want to try and collect some crystals though. Let's move on this one. Anything other than white, please. Red. See if I can, I'd like to get a couple more enemies under my belt and level up again. So that'll up my armour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hopefully give me some kind of attacking skill. Volcair's turn. He gets a red action, which means he doesn't move. There's no one around him to attack, but we do re-roll one of these red ones. I bet it rolls a white. Okay, here we go. It's a black. Well, I'm pretty happy and I know exactly what I'm going to do. Stamina for move 2. Promise and improvisation. I don't want to spend any mana on this, you see. I do want some movement. I want 4 movement. So yeah, it's a no-brainer really. These two sideways for move 4. There's a dungeon in this wasteland, so I'm moving 4 in there. And for my action, I'm entering that dungeon. So let's draw one of these tan monsters, and we get Minotaur. That'll do nicely, because remember I can't use any units, but I can use, yeah, this is awesome. Right, mana draw's going down. Now with mana draw played, I'm ready to take on this Minotaur. Range, I'm not doing anything. I can't use my units, remember. I'm going to take his attack. It's a brutal attack, and it's 5. And that is pretty brutal, because my armor's only 3. So it's 10. That's going to be 4 wounds, right? 3, 6, 9, 4 wounds. Let's take those 4 wounds. You must think I like wounds. I'm not that bothered. I've been pretty cool with wounds so far. Anyway, I just wanted to play this one because it's just great fun. Tornado's going down. And because of mana draw, I can grab 2 dice from the source, so it's a white and a black. Play this in the attack phase. Destroy target enemy. Minotaur, you're out of here. Well, it was a little bit worse than I hoped because of we got this brutal enemy, but there's not much I could do. I didn't have any attacking cards. I was relying on Tornado. Okay, he's gone. I'm just going to grab myself a spare mana dice because I need this to determine my reward. Let's mark this dungeon as conquered. Then we're going to roll this one to determine our reward. It's a blue. And this means, so if it was gold or black it would have been a spell. White, red, blue or green is an artifact. I'm pretty happy that I get an artifact, I'll tell you that. Excellent. Right, let's roll these 2. Red and a blue. At least we've got something a bit different, blue. Now we're done fighting that Minotaur, I'm going to do that straight away. Discard 2 wounds. So I wasn't too bad, we've got 2 left. Now we get to grab an artifact. Let's draw 2 and pick one. We've got a Banner of Protection or a Golden Grail. Well, I'm going to take the Golden Grail. Excellent. Put that on top of my deep deck. Now I think that's going to be good timing actually, because let's draw 3. That's 2 more. Swift Bolt and Burning Shield, Exploding Shield. Obviously I'm going to try and heal these next turn. Over to Volcair. A wound. Alright, that's good. Anything but a black then on this dice. is a blue. Okay.